I believe it is important for the integrity of these videos and for your continued enjoyment of my channel to always be honest with you guys in every single video that I do about how I feel about whatever I'm talking about. And I will be honest, there is one panel in this manga, this volume, that I resonated with more than any other, and it was one of Mikasa asking, "What the hell is going on?" I was more confused during this volume than I ever have been in any other Attack on Titan volume, and that's saying a lot because I've been confused many, many times, as you guys know. I try my best to interpret the story. I reread things a bunch of times. This volume is very exposition heavy. In fact, all 4 of these chapters in this volume is pretty much nothing but dialogue, and that's okay. Remember, I'm a Hunter x Hunter fan. I'm okay with lots of dialogue, but everything that was going on in this volume was so back and forth. There were so many kind of contradictory information going back and forth. Not contradictory in the story, but I mean like characters not knowing what the other character's true intentions are, and kind of vice versa, or believing a character is lying about something when they're actually covering up the truth about something else and something going on. There's so many different layers to all of the conversations that the characters were having, because nothing is black and white. It's not like what the characters are saying back and forth is absolutely truthful here and there. Like we're all going to explicitly say what exactly is going on. No, there's hidden layers and depth between what every character is saying to another. So what one line means actually could mean like 5 different things, because you don't know how much of the truth a character is putting in that particular line. And there's so many moments like this. There's the moment where Zeke is talking to Levi, and there's the moments where Hanji is trying to figure out what's going on. And so many things that are happening throughout this volume that I will be 100% honest, I was having a very hard time keeping up of what is actually factual and what is actually happening in the story at this point. I'll be 100% honest with you guys that I am at a little bit of a loss. But let me tell you what I did like and what I did really enjoy about this volume. I think my favorite thing about this volume is what happened with Gabi and Falco. So they were in prison because, you know, she snuck aboard the blimp as they were escaping Marley, and she shot and killed Sasha, which was very upsetting to see Sasha go. Particularly, I really enjoyed her character. She was one of my favorite of the Survey Corps members that there were. She had a very genuine kind of heart to the group, and she had a lot of great scenes before her untimely death. Now, having said that, I also really do like the Gabi character. I like how she parallels how Eren was at the beginning of the series, and I like how she showcases the indoctrination of the military system of Marley, kind of presenting Eldians as the devils and everything like that, and how much she holds true to that, and how much she wants to hold true to the redeeming herself of being an Eldian to show her loyalty to Marley and everything like that. So despite her being the one that literally pulled the trigger to kill Sasha, I still really appreciate her character and everything that was happening during this volume. She manages to escape the prison cell. She was faking some kind of seizure. Guy comes in, she hits him with a brick. They're able to escape, and they kind of go off into the forest, and there was a couple of different things here that really stood out to me. One was Falco telling her to take off of her insignia of Marley in case they get captured, and her reluctance to do so because she felt if she removed that, there's nothing here on Paradis that would signify her difference from them, because she is Eldian to begin with. So that symbol that she wears on her armband, which obviously is very reminiscent to Nazi Germany and whatnot, the kind of real world, comparison there, is that's what separates her from being a devil. She's not a devil. She refuses to be a devil. She wants to be good. She wants to be a good person that they always told her that she could be. And, Falco's thinking pragmatically. He's like, look, if they catch you with that, they're going to know who we are. If you take it off, we just look like everybody else. It's fine. And when he tries to take it off of her, she freaks out, because that is her last remaining link right now to being a member of Marley, because they are stranded, they are captured, they are just kind of off in the wilderness right now. There's nothing that separates them from other people. And I think that's an important theme of this entire series, is that there's really nothing that separates us other than us creating these separations ourselves, creating these boundaries, these restrictions, and these lines in the sand that say you are this and I'm this. Obviously there's the whole idea that they can turn into Titans, which just kind of separates them, but what I'm saying is that as humans in their human form, without that kind of without the the serum or the gas that I'll get to here in a second that can turn you into a Titan, I mean, we are all the same. And I like how she was founded by this one character, which I didn't know who this character was at first, and then it turns out to be, which was amazing, turned out to be the character, the young girl that Sasha saved during the one of the Titan attacks earlier in the manga. And so, like, just the very idea that Gabi was kind of saved by a girl who was saved by Sasha, who Gabi killed, I really like the poeticness of that, and I really like how this girl knew right away that they were from Marley and decided to kind of bring them in anyways, bring them home to the family, not reveal this information, simply because she was inspired by Sasha to be a good person and to help people. It doesn't matter if they're Eldian or Marley or whatever, she was inspired to help people because of Sasha, you know, and Sasha was the person that Gabi cut down. And it's just this weird kind of roundabout thing, this cycle of life, right, that she would just so happen to be in this scenario. And I like how it calls back to that moment with Sasha, because that was one of her best moments as a character, but it was kind of forgotten about as the series went on. Like, we never really went back to that village, we never really kind of saw what happened to that little girl and everything. So I really like how that was thrown in there, and how Gabi is trying to respond to these people being nice to her, even though she still desperately, you know, is trying so hard to view them as an enemy. Even just, like, attacking her with a pitchfork. Like, it's just, it's crazy. So I really like everything that's happening with the Gabi character, and I'm excited to see where she goes next, still being kind of in this village, being harbored by this girl. Now, the stuff with Zeke, really quickly, is that what I am gathering out of this, I don't trust Zeke. As a viewer, as a reader, as somebody reading this story, I don't fucking trust this guy. He's saying that he's doing all this for Eldia, and I think it was Hanji who said that she suspects that he might be a double agent, which I completely agree. Because I just feel like everything that we've seen him do thus far, I know that as a, you know, undercover person or whatever, you have to showcase and maintain your loyalty to who you're pretending to be loyal to. But remember all the stuff that he did as a Beast Titan, as the Furry Titan, is that, you know, there wasn't any kind of remorse as to what he was doing. He was just laying waste to them. He killed so many people. He killed people when he didn't have to. There's just way too many things, way too many sins that he did. And his excuse for turning in his father, you know, he did the backstory where, like, okay, if you're fighting for Eldia, why did he turn in his father when he was a child and everything? And he was like, I was worried that we were all going to get turned in, including myself, so I just did what I thought was best. It just feels like such bullshit. Like, I don't fucking buy it to begin with. And I think Levi is very kind of cautious about it too. He's kind of like questioning him about it, questioning what he did at the village. That's where we learned that his spinal fluid, that you could also turn it into like a gas, which makes sense. I suppose that, you know, it doesn't have to be in fluid form. If you can change the form of it, it's still going to do what it's intended to do. So that was how he infected the entire village and turned them all into Titans. So that makes sense. But I just, I don't buy that he's working for LD. I think he is a double agent. I think he is here with a purpose to help Marley in some way and perhaps get the Founding Titan away from Eren and to somebody that he can control. If he can't control Eren, which I doubt that he can. I doubt Eren even really gives too much of a shit about Zeke, to be honest. So he wants to help get the Founding Titan away from Eren is what I feel like is happening. And again, like I said, a lot of the dialogue was confusing to me, so I apologize about that. But it seems as though the kind of government, the Survey Corps, everybody is kind of falling in line with that idea. They're falling in line with the idea of Eren seems too unstable to have this power that he has. Now with Eren himself, he spends pretty much this entire volume behind bars because of the attack that he did in Marley. They're still wondering about him. They're questioning him. They find out that Yelena, who was following Zeke as well, has met with Eren in secret and didn't want to tell anybody because they thought they would be suspicious because of this and some other factors. So everybody from the outside the walls that was helping them, to help them build the docks, help them acquire this new technology, they detained all of them. So out of their own literal like admission of fear and weakness is like, we have to detain you because we just want to be sure, yada yada yada. So there's all of that going on. We know that Yelena has met with Eren, and whatever they talked about, I don't know, or at least I didn't fully grasp what they could have talked about within this time. But they also talk about Yelena's kind of, seems a little odd that she would at first be very vicious and hardcore towards the Marleyans, being able to shoot them right in the head. And ever since she came to Paradis, she's been kind of, fighting for keeping them alive and making them work here and there. And it's like, it's almost as if she's setting up her own kind of faction within the walls of Paradis, is that at any moment she could order them to all attack, or something like that. And it seems like that, along with Zeke wanting to get the Founding Titan away from Eren, it seems that like Marley has fully infiltrated Paradis. It seems like, at least if Yelena perhaps wanted to reclaim or re-show her loyalty to Marley when they finally get there, when they finally show up for their attack, Yelena's kind of in a position where she could go to either side depending on what would be more beneficial to her. So maybe that's where it's at. I'm just kind of thinking about that right now, is that like she's here and she's helped Paradis so much, she's helped the Eldians so much, but at the same time she could very easily switch back to Marley's side. So she might be just trying to position herself in the best possible outcome for her own survival, or maybe for whatever, maybe she doesn't know what side Zeke is actually on, and so she's just preparing herself for whatever side he chooses, is that she's going to follow him no matter what. I don't really know. That's the thing, is that I am just kind of going off, I'm speculating here. I have no idea. I really don't know what characters are telling the truth, what characters aren't, what characters are double agents, what characters are undercover. And I think that's the point. The point is that anybody could be your enemy at any time. Anybody could be your friend. You don't know if somebody's telling the truth. I think that's the point of this volume. I think the point of this entire volume, of these chapters, or of all this exposition, is just trying to make you, the reader, try to decide who's on whose side. And I think the biggest one when it comes to that is Eren himself and what happens at the end of the last chapter. So it seems as though there are plenty of people that don't want Eren to have this Founding Titan power. And they want to be able to, I believe, give it back to Historia, but they can't now because she's pregnant. And I don't know what happens to a person who's pregnant that becomes a Titan. I don't really know. Would the child die? And that's the thing, like, nobody really knows. They're just kind of speculating, so they're holding off on doing that. So because they can't give it to Historia, that means it has to remain with Eren. And what is he trying to do? Like, wait out the time limit or something until... I don't know. I literally have no fucking idea. But what I do know is that there is a group of people that is rising up within Paradis itself that really support Eren as the kind of leader. Because he does have the Founding Titan, and he was the one to create the most vicious attack against Marley, their enemies, that they have ever seen. For so long it was such a mystery of who their enemies even were. Eren went out and did his attack, and it was just like, he created so much success. He got the Warhammer Titan, like, there was so much. Yeah, there were casualties, but they practically won that battle, and this was like one of the biggest things that has happened. And I don't want to call it a cult or anything, but there's definitely a following now because of Eren. And from what I understand about the ending of this volume, I am probably completely wrong. I fully admit that, but I feel like his followers have kind of helped rise up to help him get out of prison. And even though he escaped himself, they killed Commander Zackley, who was the guy that was not going to allow Mikasa or anybody to talk to him, and was kind of perpetuating keeping him captive because they wanted to get the Founding Titan away from him, or at least that's what I believe is happening. And so they were like, no, we want Eren to be our leader. We want him to be the guy. He's the one that's shown us that he's fighting for us, so we want him. So already within Paradis, within this short amount of time, you already have people that are willing to betray the government themselves in order to help Eren. And so Eren kind of got freed, and from what it looks like is that he's accepting this role. It looks like he's accepting this role as being the leader, as being, I am the guy with the Founding Titan, and the Attack Titan, and the Warhammer Titan, and maybe he's going to get more. He mentions going to talk to Zeke. Maybe he's going to try to eat Zeke and become the Beast Titan also, and create. And what I was saying, like, in my one reaction video to volume 25, is that I was thinking that Eren was trying to acquire every single Titan. If he becomes all 9 Titans, then I don't know what would happen. Like, I don't know if he did that and died in some way, sacrificed himself for everybody, if that would mean the Titans would go away, if they would still come back after, because If it doesn't get passed down, then somebody randomly born will have that Titan power. But is that still true if he becomes every single Titan? If he becomes all 9? Like, I don't know. But what I feel like is happening is he is accepting this role as being the leader of the Eldians despite what his government in Paradise says. Because I don't even think it's about that anymore. I think it's about just him freeing the world of the Titans. That's what I feel. That's what I feel like it's always been. It just has evolved into something different now. I feel like Eren, even though he is the Titans, you know, himself, I still feel like his whole... It's like he wants people to be at peace, wants people to be free, and you can't be free with this, like, demonic deal with the devil, like, supernatural, like, gigantic, you know, walls filled with giant colossal Titans. Like, you can't, like, you have to get rid of this, you know, this has to go. And I feel like Eren has his own plan deep down to one, do that, and to extinguish Marley at the same time. Whatever that is, I don't know, but I feel like he wants to remove the threat, remove all major threats from the world in whatever way that he can. Again, I am probably wrong. This volume was very confusing to me, but what I believe Eren is doing is doing what he feels like is the best thing for humanity. Now, whether that means he has to betray his own government, whether that means he can't talk to his friends because they won't understand. Some probably want to get some, like Connie, like, is very, very upset about the Sasha death, which it seemed like Eren didn't care about. And is the inclusion of all these Titans, because we know that it gets, like, the past memories of other Titans or, like, future memories and stuff, they're all kind of connected. Is that disrupting his psyche? Like, is that disrupting how he feels about the death of somebody like Sasha? Because he's got all these Titans within him and all these powers within him, you know, and he's seeing the past, maybe seeing the future, maybe I don't fucking know. But, like, does that disrupt his view of how he just feels about the life of a person, you know, when he's thinking so big picture, he's thinking about the future of humanity as a whole, but does that kind of take away from how he feels about the death of a single individual? Because that's not how he would have felt as a child, you know, that's not how he would have felt when his mom died and everything. But then he was talking about, you know, how he understands it and how he understands what happened. And so, like, with this whole big picture thinking, is it, you know, getting rid of that feeling of just a single person's death, you know? I don't know. Anyways, guys, so volume 27 is very confusing to me. I'm sure you guys can kind of clear things up in the comments. I'm sorry if I got a lot of things wrong. I'm sorry if I didn't cover things properly. I just want to be honest with you guys that this volume was very confusing to me, but I'm just trying to put the pieces together the best that I can while reading this. I definitely still very much enjoyed this. I can't wait to see where it goes moving forward. I can't wait to see, because we have, like, Eren in his own faction over here. We got Zeke, who I don't fucking trust at all, over here. And then we have, you know, what is Armin and Mikasa gonna do, because they're still with the Survey Corps and everything. So, like, are they, you know, I don't know. So we're gonna see where it goes moving forward. Very excited to see where it goes. Only a couple more volumes until I catch up to where the series is right now. So I can't wait. Let me know what you guys think. Please comment down below. Give the video a like. Subscribe if you want to stick around and see more. Thank you for listening to me rant. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful day.